Assalamu alaikum. Today's topic is 1848, the revolution of the liberals. Parallel to the revolts of the poor, unemployed, and starving peasants and workers in many European countries in the year 1848, there was revolt by the middle classes to unify their nation. In the German regions, a large number of political associations whose members were middle class professionals, businessmen, and prosperous artisans came together in the city of Frankfurt, and they decided to elect leaders and draft a new constitution for their country, that is Germany. And they elected 831 members on 18th May 1848. Then they marched to the city of Frankfurt to take part in the parliament, and that convened in the church of St. Paul. They drafted a new constitution from there that was subject to the constitutional monarchy. That means head of the state will be a king and others are elected one. And they offered crown to the William IV, King of Prussia, but he was rejected. And he joined with other monarchs to oppose his assembly. That is one of the reasons the failure of Frankfurt Parliament. Another reason why it is a failure, middle class group, they did not consider the demands of workers and artisans. That is because they lost the support of this group. So these are the two reasons the failure of Frankfurt Parliament. The one is William IV, he was not ready to accept the elected leaders, and then he joined with other monarchs to oppose this assembly. Another one, the middle class group, they did not consider the demands of workers and artisans, so consequently lost their support. So that is a two reason the failure of the Frankfurt Parliament. The next topic is German unification. We already learned about Frankfurt Parliament. That was the first step to unify German regions into one. In 1848, liberal nationalists, they tried to unite their country, unite the different regions of the German Confederation into a nation state governed by an elected parliament. So this liberal initiative to nation building was, however, repulsed by the combined forces of the monarchy and the military, supported by the large landowners. They were known as the Junkers of Prussia. From then on, Prussia took on the leadership of this movement under the leadership of its chief minister Otto von Bismarck. He was architect of this process, carried out with the help of the Prussian army and bureaucracy. So he was known as a Iron Man of Germany. He led 3 wars over 7 years with 3 countries, Austria, Denmark and France, entered in a Prussian victory and completed the process of unification in January 1871. The Prussian King William I was proclaimed German Emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. Next topic is Italian unification. During the middle of 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only Sardinia Piedmont ruled by the Italian princely houses. North was ruled by Austrian Habsburg, center was ruled Pope, and southern parts was under the control of Bourbon kings of Spain. Here, Italian unification process first started by Giuseppe Mazzini, a revolutionary leader, but he was failed in his attempt. Then, Victor Emmanuel II, ruler of Sardinia Piedmont, tried to unite his country through war. Later, Chief Minister Cavour took the charge. Chief Minister Cavour, who led the movement to unify the regions of Italy, was neither a revolutionary or democrat. Like many other wealthy and educated members, he spoke French better than Italy. Through a tactful diplomatic alliance with France by Cavour, Sardinia Piedmont succeeded in defeating Austrian Habsburg in the north in 1859. Very next year, with the help of Garibaldi another revolutionary leader. With the help of Giuseppe Garibaldi and his volunteers, Cavour also succeeded in defeating Bourbon kings of Spain in southern part. This area is this kingdom also known as Kingdom of Two Sicilies. That is in the year 1860. So in the year 1816, with the help of Giuseppe Garibaldi and his volunteers, Cavour also succeeded in defeating Bourbon kings of Spain. And the next year in 1861, Victor Emmanuel II proclaimed as the king of New Italy. Next is about Britain unification. The Britain unification process was different that of others. It was not the result of a sudden upheaval or a revolution. It was a result of a long drawn-out process. The primary identity of the people who inhabited the British Isles were ethnic ones, such as English, Welsh, Scotch, or Irish. From this ethnic group, English grew in power politically and economically, and they could extend their power over other nations of the Highlands. In 1688, English Parliament seized power from monarchy. In 1707, through the Act of Union, Scotland added with English region. So a new nation was formed here, United Kingdom of Great Britain. Now it could extend or influence or impose its power over Scotland. Ireland also suffered a similar fate. Ireland was deeply divided between Catholics and Protestants. When there was a conflict between Protestants and Catholics, English group held the Protestants of Ireland. Catholics was led by Wolfe Tone, and these Catholics were defeated by the Protestants with the help of English in 1798. And next, in 1801, Ireland was forcefully added with Britain. Then a new nation was formed. The symbol of the new nation, British flag, Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, and the English language were actively promoted, and older nations survived only as a subordinate partners in this union. Next, let us learn about Scotland. What happened to Scotland people after it was joined with English region? The growth of a British identity meant that Scotland's distinctive culture and political institutions were systematically suppressed. The Catholic clans that inhabited the Scottish Highlands suffered terrible repression whenever they attempted to assert their independence. The Scottish Highlands were forbidden to speak their Gaelic language or wear their national dress, and large numbers were forcibly driven out of their homeland.